Cowabunga, debate fans! The sewers are buzzing, the pizza is piping hot, and the stakes are higher than Shredder's temper because tonight, or this afternoon, we're going full Ninja Turtle mode here on Trivial Debates. We have three fearless contenders. They're strapping on their bandanas, spinning their nunchucks, and preparing to battle in a clash of wits, wisdom, and radical randomness. Will it be a Leonardo-level masterstroke? A Michelangelo-style party win? Or will someone pull a Raphael and take the victory with sheer intensity and maybe a little attitude? So grab your ooze canisters, crank up Vanilla Ice's ninja rap as we go ninja go for a heroic half-shell hootenanny? It's a turtle time for Trivial Debates. We got a great panel here. First up, Sean Haddon, human drum tech from the band Cybertronic Spree with old school roots in Electric Playground, brings his turtle power of knowledge to this debate. Hello, Sean.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you and glad to meet you.
Glad to meet you too.
Our next contestant, Michelle Ivy, the internet's biggest and proudest TMNT fan, all the way from her Cowabunga corner. Join us to master splinter her way to a victory.
Cowabunga!
Radical. Love it. Welcome, Michelle. Nice to meet you as well. And coming in next, it's someone I know already, Justin Velociraptor, also known as Vaughn, never wanted to pay full price for late pizza, a returning debater oozing to showcase his ninja skills in the marketplace of ideas. And he's got his dark glasses on, so you know he means business, everyone. It's like a poker game.
They are the only glasses I can find with my actual prescription.
Sure. Whatever you say.
They look cool.
A Jose Canseco bat? Tell me, you didn't pay money for this.
You shouldn't, really. It's got steroids. All right. Well, let's get into it. Okay, starting off with the movie round, and we're keeping it simple. What is the best TMNT film? And this is going to be a tough one. I think that, I have my personal favorites, but I'm trying to keep an open mind to all contenders here. And I believe the first up in the rotation is Justin.
Aha! All right.
1 minute to you, sir.
All right. So the best TMNT film is definitely, hands down, TMNT 2, Secret of the Ooze. Okay. You've got your Super Shredder. You've got your Tonka and Razar. It's the perfect balance of humor, of emotional heart, of iconic turtle-based moments. It reflects the amazingness of the 90s animated series as well. There's a lot of great slapstick gags. The creature shops are absolutely amazing from Jim Henson. It's the, like, I don't even know how I can make this argument any better. It's just the best turtle movie. It's got like everything you want from it. It hits the tone absolutely perfectly. It's got the friggin' ninja rap in it. Come on, ninja rap. None of the other movies have anything that can even hold up to TMNT 2, Secret of the Ooze. And I know this because I just finished rewatching TMNT 2, Secret of the Ooze, and it holds up over 30 years later.
Great opening debate there, Justin. Loved it, and I'm excited to see Secret of the Ooze on the dais. But coming in next is Michelle from Cowabunga Corner. What's your champion?
My champion will always be the first Ninja Turtle movie. So for the first Turtle movie, it is the best blend between the original comic books and the cartoon series. We have Casey Jones, Turtle Power, which is the best turtle song ever released. I'm sorry, it beats Ninja Rap in a heartbeat for me. The movie taught me to read. It taught me to defend myself. And it's a huge improvement on all the costumes, even though it was the first costumes. In Turtles 2, the heads were too big. Turtles 3, the turtles looked like frogs, and Splinter looked like a dog. There's so much things that you look at, from the designs to the plot. Turtles 1 just has it all. It's dark. It's just what Eastman and Laird really wanted. And Kevin Eastman is actually in the movie, unlike the other early films. He does make it into 2016 as well. But no, Turtles 1, hands down, it has been my favorite movie. And I saw it 30 times in the theaters. So.
Wow. I can't say that for myself, although I definitely remember going to Secret of the Ooze in the theater, for sure. I was the right age for it. Okay, Sean, coming in next. What is your film that you are bringing to this panel?
All right, much respect to TMNT2 and the OG film, which is actually the film I've seen the most out of any movie ever, including Star Wars, which I love. But my pick has got to be Mutant Mayhem from, I guess it was 2 years ago now. Maybe it was 1 year ago. What is time anymore? But what I really loved about this movie is it presented the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in a whole new way. Something I really love about this franchise is that every time it gets rebooted or reimagined, the creators of that new reimagining bring something brand new to the series while still honoring what made the Ninja Turtles so lovable to begin with. Over here, the thing that strikes me as one of the best things about the movie is actually the soundtrack. We've got a ton of 80s and 90s classic hip hop tracks kicking things off. The Teenage Bros are actually played by teenagers, and it's super fun. Wow, I talked a lot about stuff, not about the movie.
Good job, Sean. Okay, great. Now, so we're gonna go into open debate next. Here, Kevin Nash was in Secret of the Ooze. That's right, he was the super
Yeah, he
shredder.
was.
Just so you know, I have never seen your film, Sean.
Okay.
And the film I wish was here was the 2007 TMNT, the animated film. What was that?
I worked on 2007.
Oh wow! Oh,
Nice.
I didn't know.
Nice.
Well, I loved that movie. I wish it was in the group, but if you can explain your movie well enough, Sean, I don't want that to work against you. Of course, we have the original 1990 and the Secret of the Ooze sequel here, so definitely two films I'm way more familiar with. But
Of course.
But let's jump in and you guys can mix it up.
Yeah, so just to add, in Mutant Mayhem, the enemies are actually other mutants. Shredder's not even in this one, which was a surprise to me. There's a nod to the Utroms, which are the race of brain beings that Krang happens to be from. But the main villain is a new mutant called Superfly, and he's got some classic characters such as Rocksteady, Bebop as part of his crew. Also, Baxter Stockman is in it just very briefly. But what I really love about the film is that it's just so fun and heartfelt. There's some good moments between the brothers. There's some good tension. There's also good character moments between the villains as well, which is something we don't tend to see in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. It's usually about just the turtles. And it's got stuff that old fans would love and things that would bring in some new fans into the franchise.
I agree with most of what you said, but I don't think that cool animation can make a movie a classic. I think Mutant Mayhem is like, it's like that cool new indie band that everyone pretends to love while secretly longing for the classics.
No.
Like
I have to say,
and it's just not great.
Wow. Okay.
I tried to watch it. I don't like the retcon of Kang being the aliens. I didn't like. I don't know. I liked the soundtrack. The soundtrack was the one thing that I want to say 100% for you that soundtrack was banging. I mean, it didn't have ninja rap, but
It does have ninja rap. It's
well, it has
the
it has
movie.
Is it in it? I don't remember that.
It's in the movie, dude. Like,
Well,
it's
there you go.
diegetic sound. This
It's in the-
turtle,
Clearly, I need to rewatch it.
this turtle
Okay.
movie takes place in a world where Vanilla Ice exists and has already written a song about Ninja Turtles, which is weird.
Which is strange. Okay, Michelle, jump in here because you gotta.
Mutant Mayhem, I feel that the plot was rushed because they wanted turtles in the school by the end. So Superfly's character was ruined completely because he was supposed to be as smart as Baxter Stockman. But as soon as he mutated, he forgot his entire goal and just went out there and started attacking the city with no plan when he's supposed to be a thinker. So they really ruined Superfly and the end of the movie. It had a great start, a lot of beats to it, but there was they jumped the shark right in their own first movie.
But is he really supposed to be super smart? Because he's just introduced. He's got no prior lore.
Well, he says he picked it up from Baxter and he was able to build that machine. So yeah, he should
Okay. But what happens to you
It's
when you're
good.
mutated? If you're mutated and you're all jacked up, as we see Kevin Nash as Super Shredder, his brain doesn't work so good. He's just trying to destroy stuff, which I think is evocative of what we see in Super Duper Fly.
Okay, well, moving away from the animated mishap, the first movie, dark and serious, but too dark and serious.
What?
They all sounded like they had smoked like a carton of cigarettes beforehand.
Yeah, but they lived in the sewer. They're not good air
1980s
quality.
New York.
Yeah,
I guess, but I mean, Shredder in the first movie, it's the same as in the comic. I found him very underwhelming as a first villain.
No, the comic had a better origin because it showed him at 8 years old when his brother died. The movie did mess
It
up.
fleshed it out. The movie rushed his origin, but I just don't think it has the staying power of Super Shredder, of the Ninja Rap, of Tonka and Razor. Like,
Shredder's on screen for like 5 minutes, dude. 5 minutes.
but it's so worth that 5 minutes. It's like the Hulk with blades attached to him. I don't know how you can even argue that either of these movies hold up to Secret of the Ooze. It's got the word secret and ooze in the title.
I feel
Michelle, you were cutting in and out just a bit. If you just want to make
Yeah.
your final point there before we make a ruling.
Secret of the Ooze has no weapons besides for backgrounds. Donnie's the only turtle allowed to use his weapons. Leo throws them to the ground, but into the ceiling, but never gets to actually use them in battle. Raph's is on his belt most of the time through the movie, and Mikey's even has a container to hide them. So for the weapons area, Turtles 2 was lightened up so much they took their weapons away. They lightened up the movie so much that they made the heads a little bit bigger so they're more cartoony. And they cut out the storyline that Professor Jordan Perry was supposed to be an Outram at the end because the producers thought, oh, it was people will think it's Krang. So they took out the most serious line that would have gave Donnie a story plot.
Okay, well, those are all excellent points. And they took their weapons away, Michelle, but they did give them a yo-yo, so don't forget about that.
and like salami nunchucks.
Yeah,
And Raph definitely speared a slice of pizza on his side.
yeah, sausage and
Also-
yo-yos.
It's very weird to me to be kind of pretending to not like other Ninja Turtle movies because they're like I love all of these movies. And also, side note, watch or listen to the episode of How Did This Get Made about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, please, after that.
I will have to.
Well, okay, I'm Chris. I hope this doesn't screw anything up for you here, but I feel like I'm going to give two of them points in this round because they tied actually for me, and those are Sean and Michelle. Sorry, Justin. Sean, you did a great job arguing for a film I've never seen and making a lot of points about something I didn't know anything much about. I knew that Seth Rogen was involved in this new one, and that was about it. And Michelle, excellent, of course. Arguing the classics, and your descriptions of Secret of the Ooze were well taken. So I'm giving Sean and Michelle each a point for this round.
Yay!
Yeah. All right. Unprecedented. Maybe. Not really. Justin, I love the
It's
courage.
okay. It's okay that you're wrong, Dave. It's okay.
I love the courage to argue Secret of the Ooze because it's as campy as it is, I still love it too. Yeah. Okay. Dandelions. All right, let's get into it. TV round coming up next. And our TV question is, what was the most outrageous aspect of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV series, the one that ran from 1987 to 1996? Our first up this round, we have Michelle.
Okay. For me, it would be Orokosaki's family and the family name being messed up. I know that there's a lot of different oddities and goofiness with the cartoon series, but it got me that he has a supervillain mother who's trying to encourage his evilness, and then a season later we meet his brother who's a police officer who doesn't mention once that his mom is super evil, but goes on and on about how evil his brother is. So we have Miyoki, who's the mother, and they say instead of Miyoki, Oroko Miyoki as it should be, they say Miyoki Saki. And same thing with the brother, Kazuo is considered Kazuo Saki instead of Oroko Kazuo. So it's kind of messed up, and I just think the family's a little messed up. I don't understand how Shredder has such a weird family, and it does not make sense, but that's part of what that series is when you got writers like that. So that for me, that's that odd thing inside that series that always kind of ate at me.
Very interesting answer. I was not expecting this. Okay, great. Okay, next up, we have Sean. Sean, please make your opening statement.
Oh gosh. Well, that was great. The strangest thing about this show for me, watching it as an adult now, is how obviously horny Irma is all the time. This woman is absolutely ridiculous. It's always a joy when rewatching the show and there's a scene with Irma and April and they're just talking like you do with your coworkers. You know, April's normally off trying to do some sort of shenanigans with the turtles, rescue someone, call out Shredder, call out something that's not cool. And Irma's like, find out if he's cute. Find out if he's got a date. I want to go on a date. And like, she seems to not have any standards or just loves everyone equally, which is admirable. But getting to watch the show now and just seeing how that dynamic is probably one of the more entertaining parts about getting to rewatch it for me now.
Completely true. Okay, let's let's move on to Justin. Justin, what are you bringing to this?
Okay, the most outrageous part of the animated series is Krang and the Technodrome. I'm going to focus mostly on Krang because, I mean, he's literally a squealing evil brain from another dimension who pilots a naked android in tights. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. They came up with this suit for the series. I'm fairly certain that that's how that panned out, and it became just absolutely ridiculous. Sometimes the Technodrome, I mean, he's got this giant lair. It's got a giant eyeball on top. It's a rolling death tank the size of a or a skyscraper, rather. And sometimes it's rolling through the Earth core. Sometimes it's in Dimension X. Sometimes it's in the Arctic. I mean, this show doesn't really go with continuity that greatly. I mean, I watched it in syndication, and I haven't watched it all the way through in order, so there might actually be something to that. But I think with the Krang, the show is just saying, like, realism, logic, that's not really our brand. Our brand is chaos, and this squishy brain man in a meat suit is here to prove it.
Right. He is here to prove it. Yeah, I was just watching old episodes today, and like there was one where they get shrunk down by like this alien device, and I don't know, it's just it was really out there. They were going for grounded realism, perhaps, in all cases.
Incredible strength.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's have an open debate. We got Irma's horniness versus the Technodrome and Krang versus the lack of I guess realism with Shredder's backstory and family and Japanese culture. So let's jump into it.
All right.
I know very little about Japanese culture or family dynamics, so I don't know exactly how outrageous that is. But I do know that they messed up those names in the show, and that's been a huge thing because of Japanese naming conventions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't say that's the most outrageous of everything. Irma being horny, fairly outrageous. Not quite as outrageous as the squishy brain man in the robot.
So, well, I think...
Oh my god, that's so great.
Part of this question, I need to get an Irma action figure. Part of this question is what makes it outrageous, and we have to go along with the fact that the show at a baseline is already like super outrageous. So what is just like something that doesn't fit? And to me, the reason why I chose what I chose is that this is a show for kids, and having that in it is just, you know, I think the writers just did that as kind of a joke. Maybe there was someone that they knew, maybe someone who worked on the show who's kind of like that, always wanting to go on dates and stuff. And like, I get it, I understand, but like as a child, that stuff was like way over my head.
For the sisters that were into the romance area, they needed somebody who liked romance, because there'd be the brother. Now, I'm not into romance. Me and my brother both watched Turtles together through the 80s and 90s, and that never appealed to me, but I know people it appeals to, and it reminds me of.
I liked it. Some of the humor in the series that was geared more towards the parents than it was to the kids, and I think that Irma was definitely one of those aspects, where
Yeah.
that was more for your mom or your dad who was watching it with you, or your babysitter, whatever, than it was for the kid who was like, oh my God, Cowabunga pizza.
But I am going to bring up that so many shows back then, and even today, villains have like huge layers that are supposed to be impressive. So the Technodrome never came to me as outrageous because it just seemed par to selling a toy line. Krang was an interesting storyline, but it was just trying to find a way of introducing an Utrom without introducing the entire series. I wish for Krang that we actually got some sort of background, which is what the 2016 movie does. It finally shows why Shredder will never trust Krang. But in the cartoon series, there was never something given other than the fact that Krang was banished from his body. And then when he makes clones, you see what the bodies are supposed to look like. And then in the 2012 series, they show that he's part of the Utrom race, so he would never had a body to begin with. So it all clashes with who he is.
I think
Yeah.
it's really bizarre because like Krang's from a race that they just look like that. But for so many of the earlier episodes, he's like, Shredder, I want my body. And he's like, just going on and on. I love the relationship of Shredder and Krang. They're like an old married couple who like, they're together for the kids, Bebop and Rocksteady, and they get on each other's nerves. I love that about the show.
They're essentially Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau from Grumpy Old Men. That's who Shredder and Krang are, is grumpy old men
What a
in the
reference.
Technodrome. The thing that makes the Technodrome so ridiculous to me, it's not the fact that it's the big ball of rolling death. It's not the cannons and the trapdoors. It's not the toy line aspect. It's that giant flippin' eye on top of it that really creeped me out as a kid. Even my toy, I did not like that giant eye on it. I thought it's just weird, and it that, and then because when I was a kid, Krang was not a member of an alien race. He was just a dude who was his brain got removed from his body.
What?
So like in my head, that's all it was. So he's
in
all like, exactly. He's like, my body.
His brain also has a mouth and
Fangs.
eyes. So anyway, okay.
Now that's gonna be in my head.
This was incredibly close. I got to tell you, you all made great points here, and wow. I think they're all outrageous, but I think I'm going to go with Sean this round just because he's right about Irma, and it really got me on the thing. And yes, I think an Irma action figure, it could be used like a Horgon, like in Star Trek, as a symbol of fertility. So
you are looking for Jamaharan, Raphael?
yes, exactly. So great job, Sean, in all your arguments, and Justin, you were very close on that one.
That's okay.
You know, I guess I'm after 30 years, I'm just used to the Technodrome more. So it's what
fair
put me
enough.
over the edge. But
that's
but
what I
thanks.
really went looking for at my parents' was my Technodrome, because I know it's there somewhere.
And thanks for reminding me about Irma. And I think that this stuff with Shredder and the Japanese like culture, I think if I just had more knowledge around it, I could probably better understand it. I felt like in the time we had was a little to really deep dive into that. So good job to all, and we're moving on to music.
Oh.
And here we go. Music. What is the current band or artist would be at the top of your favorite Turtles playlist? So I want to know the song or band or whoever and which turtle it would apply to. First up this round, I believe, is Justin. Yes. No, Sean's up first this round. Okay.
I don't remember what I said, but I think I said that my favorite turtle is Michelangelo and that Mikey would be into Chapel Roan. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think he would just dig her stuff. She's super funny in interviews as well. And I think there's enough various sounds and nostalgia from previous periods, like 80s and such, that Michelangelo would dig. He'd probably be rocking out to Pink Pony Club. I think also some of these songs might be a little too spicy for most people who watch Ninja Turtles as kids, but Michelangelo is possibly 18 or 19 now, let's say, and he gets the adult themes, or thinks that he does. And yeah, I think he would want to hang out with her, basically. And she probably would want to hang out with him, if I'm telling the truth.
Okay. If you're done, we can move to our next contestant.
Yeah.
This one, I had never listened to her before, so I did. Chris sent me over a clip. I was not familiar, so very interesting. Okay, next up is Justin.
All right. So, this is for Raphael. Raph is for sure listening to Wu-Tang Clan's latest with Mathematics, Black Samson and the Bastard Swordsman, because it speaks directly to who he is as a turtle. Like the album, he's raw and emotional, and he's delicately towing the line constantly between discipline and rage, which is just what this album is bringing to the table. It's got grit, it's got myth, it's got martial energy, just like Raph himself. Wu-Tang's got themes of exile, inner conflict, brotherhood, and it mirrors his identity as a turtle who doesn't follow the rules, but will also never abandon his own family. He himself is a bastard swordsman, an outsider with a code. Raph would want to find the hardest, smartest, and most emotionally authentic album he could get his hands on, and Wu-Tang and Mathematics are the only artists that I can see hitting his philosophical and emotional frequency, and that's why he knows that much like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
All right. Okay, Michelle, you are up.
Okay, for me, I went with the Turtles, Flo and Eddie, Happy Together, which is actually referenced in Ninja Turtles Coming Out of Their Shells tour when Shredder's introducing his D-harmonic convergence controller. He's, Flo and Eddie, I hate these turtles as much as I hate the Ninja Turtles. Oh, my D-harmonic convergence controller, I can't see me loving nobody but you. We're happy together. One more time, I hate music! Music! I hate music, and goes into song. Then also, Flo and Eddie has been referenced in a lot of newspapers, but what's most memorable for me is having all four of the original voice cast singing Happy Together. But I could hear them listening to You Baby, It's Ain't Me Babe, Surfer Dan, Eve of Destruction. So there's a lot of songs that I can see all the Turtles enjoying, and the band is named the Turtles. So it just really hit me. So, yeah.
Flo and Eddie and the Turtle. Oh, okay. So they would like. Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, open debate.
Producer
like
note
a-
here. I got production notes mixed up. So I sent Dave the wrong album earlier. So I don't know if he's ever heard that.
I have not, but it's okay. Yeah, because I thought you were, or Chris thought you were arguing for like the song from the original movie. Like
Turtle Power, crime,
Power.
partners in crime.
But then you said it was a band, so I switched the Turtles inside our original notes. So yeah, I went with
Right.
Flo and Eddie.
Gotcha. Okay, it's all good. Okay, we're gonna jump in here. Donnie would be a big fan of a big Sim fan.
Bumping, rumbling.
Lun. All right. Open debate. Let's jump in.
I like that you went with the actual band, the Turtles, and it reminds me that I haven't listened to them in a long time. And I think there's like one of their songs where you could hear their producer saying, close your eyes when you clap, which is pretty fun. That's just left into the actual song. Yeah, I didn't realize that we were going to be arguing about stuff when I agreed to do the podcast. I'm like, here's my answers for things. So I don't feel like mine was very thought out. I definitely have to give this one to Justin, though. Like Raph and Wu-Tang just makes perfect sense. Like peanut butter and jelly. It's like, it's beautiful. I want to hear more about it. If you want to talk about Turtles and Wu-Tang, go for it.
Oh, I got so much Wu-Tang in my head, buddy. I could talk to you about Turtles. I could talk to you about Masonry and Wu-Tang. Whole what? But let me tell you, the Flo and Eddie, that's coming from behind. I did not expect that. And the Turtles, especially since that cover of Eve of Destruction is.
Michelle,
Yes.
are you assigning that to a specific turtle though, or just to them all four?
All four, especially Eve of Destruction. You could really see that with Leo and Raph. But Happy Together is a Mikey song where he
Happy
really
Together is a
going.
Mikey song.
And when I heard the voice cast break into song, we were backstage in an event doing a press thing, and they all started trying to sing it. And then later they got together and did a professional recording of it on their Facebook pages. So I've always enjoyed seeing them sing happy together. That just was very chill down my spine thing. So it's something
I can see them singing it. I can see them enjoying singing it together. I'm not sure whether they would have it on their playlists though. I think it's more of an a cappella karaoke night in the Turtle Den.
Yeah. It also does say current band, and the Turtles are.
Oh, it does. Oh, yes, it does say current band. Turtles are rather classic.
They made these questions pretty challenging.
You're welcome.
I don't. I have nothing. Weird Al. That's it.
Weird Al's
This
current.
was my problem. I had to listen to new music for like 3 days before I gave an answer for this question, because I was like, my most current music is when I was like 20. So that's
Wu-Tang
20
is
years
forever.
ago. And that is Wu-Tang is forever. And they are nothing to fuck with. Like, you cannot deny that Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. They have an entire song dedicated to reminding you that Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Yeah, I'm gonna argue for
children, for the
Justin's
children.
pick, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that
I feel
Martial arts as well.
in commercials and stuff, so it still is kind of current.
It's-
it's always used.
It is evergreen. I will say that Flo and Eddie and the Turtles are evergreen. You do get that.
It is,
but I still think that the image of Raph just down in the lair with his headphones on, just nodding his head to his beats, just that to me says the Ninja Turtles. It says Raphael. It says the guy who wants to be a Ronin, but no, he's got his family right there that he's got to protect and he's got to stay loyal to.
And Raph would fit in on any of the interludes on any Wu-Tang album. Just
Wu-Tang
bantering.
album.
Yeah. Just picture him bantering with Ghostface and Ray. Like,
It's okay.
Even
Michelle,
the new album, even with the lineup, as I won't say diminished, but as changed as it has been for the Clan, it's still, I highly recommend listening to that album. I'm not big on modern music, as I just said, but I listened to this album, I think 6 times in the last couple of days, front to back. And even if you're not a fan of rap, it's a solid album.
I grew up so much with oldies that my sister worked for the Monkees, so I grew up on tour with the Monkees.
that's an impressive fun fact.
My mother would be losing her mind right now.
And so would Kevin Millard, for that matter. Because he's a big Monkees fan.
My mother loves the Monkees.
Okay, well, this one I think is probably obvious to everyone. Justin is taking this round. Excellent choice, Justin, with the Wu-Tang and Raphael. It was exactly kind of the energy, like, you know, what music kind of syncs up with that turtle. So, yeah, Justin takes this round. Okay, moving on. Sports. Right? Yeah, sports is next. All right, for our sports question, and you remember you have to argue, everybody. What professional sports league would your favorite turtle choose to play in? So, are they going to be a hockey player? Are they going to, be in the NFL, and why? That's what we're looking for, and which turtle specifically? Justin, looks like you're up first.
I'm going to have to go with Raphael in the UFC. I just think that, oh God, that's a nightmare.
Oh my God.
I just think that Raph in the UFC, take it away, would be, oh my God, I can't even argue with this thing on, like, I can't, Raph fight good, fight angry, fight good with you. Thank you. Okay, Raph. God damn it. Raph fight good, Raph fight angry, Raph fight UFC. That I just think he's the perfect match for it. He's got all that aggression that Splinter won't let him get out on, anyone but the Robot Foot Clan bots. So he's gonna go into the UFC. He's gonna get some of that out. He's gonna kick some ass. People are gonna think he's in a costume, but it's not, because he's a Ninja Turtle. It's gonna be grand. It's gonna be great. It's amazing.
That is the stuff of nightmares.
That's
right there.
God. The nose. It's the nose and just
and the body
God
that goes with
damn
it.
it.
It's just like
I apologize for my answer, bringing this nightmare into your living rooms.
Michelle, you're up. We'll see what your image is.
I'm kind of scared now. I picked hockey because the Ninja Turtles hang out with Casey. Oh,
That's better.
We got our hockey table, which I do have here, our air hockey. Ninja Turtles have been known to actually play in hockey games in the 4Kids series. Hockey's mentioned throughout Turtle Street because Casey Jones is trying to teach it. It's one of Casey's main weapons, so there's a lot of mention of hockey. As a Detroiter, I grew up with the Red Wings. Rob Paulson, who plays Raph, is a huge Red Wings fan. So when he comes out here, he actually plays professional hockey. So we actually have a turtle who plays hockey that's actually in the sport. So it kind of matches into that as well. And hockey is just about in every version of Ninja Turtles in one way or another. So that's why I go with hockey. I'm that's about.
Do you have a
it.
specific turtle? A specific turtle that's playing?
I'm gonna go with Mikey. Well, even though
Mikey.
it's Raph, it's a professional. Yeah.
Okay, great. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for Sean. You are closing us out here.
All right. Well, I really wanted to go with Raph, but I was under the impression I couldn't pick the same favorite turtle as someone else. So I did go with Mikey, who I also love just as much. You can't pick a fave between the two. And Mikey would be really into pickleball. First of all, all right, that's a lovely image. Thank you for whoever put that
And
together.
he's a pickle
You're
turtle
welcome.
for some reason.
He would have originally gotten into it because he'd be like, I love pickles on pizza. I want to play this game. And then he would show up. There'd be a bunch of dudes in their 40s. And they'd just be like, some of them getting a little bit too competitive. But you know, when Mikey hits the pickleball court, he does not take any prisoners. He takes it maybe a little bit too seriously, but he's still having a good time. And people are scared when they're up against him because, one, they want to like him because he's got this fun personality and he's like, oh, yeah, we're going to have a good time, dude. But he just utterly crushes everybody because he's fast. He can switch the racket between hands or the paddle between hands very easily. He's got a mean backhand. And he just loves jumping all over the court and getting in people's faces when he scores. And also, again, he probably wears some sort of pickle outfit while he does it. Not something I originally thought of, but yeah, I love the
Hey,
visual.
Raph, look at me. I'm Pickle Mike.
Yeah, he's like, I need a pickle costume to play, and I'm going to use a very large ball and paddle for some reason. Okay, well, all good. Okay, pickleball versus hockey versus UFC. Let's go.
I did have a Ninja Turtles action figure when I was a kid that was definitely the Turtles in hockey gear.
Yeah. Hockey
So
in the sport.
canonically, okay, hockey.
Yeah.
And I mean,
forget
I
about
am
the,
Canadian, so I do approve of hockey being a choice. I think these are both great answers. I can totally see Mikey loving pickleball, especially him putting on, because him not understanding what it was to begin with. So he just puts on the pickle costume, and then he still kicks ass at it because he's Michelangelo.
I'm sorry, I just Rick. Okay, there.
Right? But and then the Turtles playing hockey, that's just classic.
It is.
I don't know how I can argue against either. I can argue that I think that the UFC for Raph, I think just personality-wise, is a great match for him.
Yeah.
Turtles, we've actually seen in Archie comics, the Turtles did do wrestling in it, but they weren't a fan. They were kidnapped and thrown into it.
They're forced. Do you have the set somewhere behind you?
Huh?
Do you have the stump wrestling?
I have them that direction.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there is the wrestling toys as well. Mikey's got a wrestling outfit. So there is some wrestling history. But if you look at the actor history with Ninja Turtles, when there's a wrestler involved with Ninja Turtles, they're always one of the villains. John Cena.
It's true.
Villain in Rise. And then, of course, Kevin Nash, Super Shredder. The wrestlers are always bad guys in the show. They're not the ones that the Turtles tied up with when Casey Jones, hockey player, is their friend.
Fun fact, Kevin Nash is the only person involved in a Ninja Turtles movies that I've actually met.
Well,
That's
if you're a wrestling
fun.
fan, probably nice to you.
I
do like
not
the
a wrestling
idea-
fan and didn't know who he was.
You met him and you didn't know who he was?
Well, I knew he was Super Shredder.
You knew him as Super Shredder first.
Yeah.
Not as Diesel.
Did you have
That's
My
wild.
cousin brought me to, I can't remember what it was. It was some little convention in Northern Ontario.
Amazing.
Yeah, this is a long time ago.
Raph being into UFC totally makes a lot of sense. We often see Raph go off on his own little adventures to blow off steam. Usually, his brothers rather in Splinter are unaware. So I do like the visual of Raph, secretly being this really great professional wrestler. Also, I think there was a subplot in a Steven Universe episode where Steven goes off and becomes a wrestler because he wants to blow off some steam. So maybe some kindred spirits there between them.
Raph would have a hard time not going too far, though, if they actually piss him off in the ring.
That's that. I did consider that. Is that would he injure somebody seriously doing it? But I mean, people have died in UFC matches, so there is a precedent for this. But do you want that? Do you want to be that guy? Or do you want that weight on your shell? Really,
Right.
Yeah. I honestly, Dave, this is going to be a tough one for you, I think, because these are all great answers. I mean, personally, as much as I love my own answer, seeing Mikey play pickleball in a pickle outfit might be one of my life goals now.
Yeah, they're all good choices, honestly, here, and it's hard to really figure out which one I think is the front runner at this point because you've all made about the same amount of good points. So for me, it's probably to come down to just creativity. Which probably favors Sean here, but
yeah, mine is not very creative. Mine is just a ninja doing ninja things. I will totally cop to that.
The turtles.
Yeah, and Michelle, you've made all these great points about hockey, which I think was probably the most obvious choice. I think the Casey Jones connection is a good one, and the influence that would have. But this pickleball one, I don't know. It's very interesting. And Justin, yours is good too. I just feel like it's not you're
oh, Jesus.
No.
I feel like for having conjured that into our lives alone, I should be disqualified.
I think so too. So I'm going to have to go with Sean on this one. Congratulations, Sean.
Thank you.
But Michelle, you were right there. I just think it was just a little bit of his, the choices here. I think that that Raphael thing is going to be in my nightmares forever. And, and I think that the hockey one was really good. I didn't know that about the actor who played Raphael being a fan of the Red Wings. So that was great to learn.
Yeah, if you ever see anything of Rob Paulson, he actually wears Red Wing hats and shirts almost any live appearance. He's got something Red Wing on him.
Wow. Well, good to know. I'm not a Red Wings fan, but I am a hockey fan. So I'm always glad to learn of those kinds of pieces of fandom. Okay. History. And our historical question is, the turtles are all named after certain Renaissance artists and creators. Which Renaissance artist is the closest to their namesake turtle in personality? And up this round, we have Michelle first.
So I went with Leonardo for which turtle, and that mainly goes back to his childhood because he kind of grows into a Donatello when he gets older, but he is raised by a single parent. He has the father situation, so he grows up with his dad and not a mother in the picture, and then is able to become a master of the arts that he chooses. And I mean, an amazing master going out there and doing his paintings and creating inventions. If you look up all the stuff that he actually creates, he's really intelligent. And Leonardo is really intelligent. When he grew up under Splinter, he took everything Splinter said and he took his ninja skills and mastered it to make his father proud. And I feel Leonardo was doing a lot to make his father proud with his history. So out of the artists, I've always felt that Leonardo was the closest to his personality of the artist himself. So, yeah.
Okay.
Leo.
Well put. Great opening statement. Okay. It sounds like Sean, you're up next this round.
All right. Continuing on with Michelangelo. Michelangelo is most like Michelangelo. First of all, as an artist, you tend to create things that you want to see in the world or things that are a reflection of self or things you admire. And Michelangelo would always paint and create naked people And lo and behold, Michelangelo is a naked Ninja Turtle for most of the time when he's not dressed up as a pickle. I mean, you look at works like the Sistine Chapel, for instance, there's a lot of naked people hanging around, and they're also eating a lot as well and just having a great time up there in heaven. And I think if Michelangelo had an idea of what heaven could be, it would just be lounging around, being naked, and eating a lot. So that is my answer.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Justin, so we have Michelangelo, we have Leonardo. Which is the third turtle of the four that is going to come in here?
The answer to this question, my friend, is Donatello. Donatello is most closely matched to his Renaissance namesake because both were quiet innovators and they focused on mastery of their invention. The sculptor Donatello revolutionized art through his technical skills and his devotion to realism. Just as Donatello does with his gadgets, his problem solving, and his deep thinking, he shares a true intellectual and creative, what's the word I'm looking for? Like spirit with his namesake. And I just think that Donatello is the obvious match because both are often underrated, but both shaped their worlds through brilliance, not bravado.
Okay. All right. Well, all excellent statements and great points made on all three of these. All right, we're going to go into open debate next, and make sure to tell us why yours is better than the other two.
I'm going to pick on Mikey.
Okay.
Michelangelo is my favorite turtle of all time. I'm wearing him on my shirt even. Mikey's totally epic, dudes. He's the best turtle for me with his personality. And so when I was in school, my teacher, he was a big fan of the Renaissance artist, and he came up to me and he's like, I know nothing about Ninja Turtles. So what are their personality like? Because I want to know if they match up to the original artist. And of course, I started going on about Mikey first. And he got so pissed at me because Michelangelo is known for his anger. He's known for being more like a Raph. He's known for not being fun to work with, not being nice to the people around him. He is, from what I understand, the farthest artist from the personality of his turtle, which is sad because that's my favorite turtle. I even have a tattoo of him. So when I say
it's
I'm
very true.
a Mikey fan, but I'm so disappointed. I don't want to go back in time and meet Michelangelo because it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, the real Michelangelo was known to be extremely temperamental and a perfectionist dickhead. So
Raphael.
I'm going to say that they would have been, Raphael would have been closer for Michelangelo. So I think Mikey, although close, I'm going to have to rule that one out of hand. I feel like a dick doing it. But Leonardo, though, I want to address because Leonardo the Turtle is disciplined. And he's a rule-following soldier, and he follows Splinter, and he just got this code of honor. Whereas Da Vinci was a rebellious polymath. He was constantly challenging the norms, the church, the establishment. He was a giant rebel, no matter what. And he was such a huge dreamer and dreamt so far outside of the bounds of his own world. And Leonardo just does not do that. He is so rigidly kept. As he gets older, he does lighten up a little bit, and he gets more wise. Like I think he becomes more like Donatello as he ages. But the core of Leo, the core of his character, it just isn't. It doesn't, for me, reflect Da Vinci.
Leo does push the bounds when he realizes it needs to be done. And that's happened several times where Leo's actual student persona has had to make the choice that's opposite of what everyone thought he would do. So he has to do that when he needs to. But he is the one that was like trying to be there for his father, like Leonardo was. So if Leo's father was in that direction, he followed the same footsteps. Like Leo's trying to follow Splinter's footsteps. And I really enjoy when Leo's trying to find those other roads instead of being the serious leader all the time. And I think that the newer stuff is way more serious about him being a leader, because Leo even said in the original movie, I never said I was your fearless leader. And then they start forcing it after the 2007 movie and everything.
This is a challenging question because the namesakes to me, like, they're not like the artists at all, in my opinion. So I chose to say that Mikey is like the works of Michelangelo, or he would dig them the most. When I think of Leonardo the artist, though, I feel like he's more like Donatello, because he was always inventing things and like coming up with things that did not exist, that people would not even be able to comprehend for years beyond his passing.
But when I was studying up on Donatello before I knew Donnie was already taken, I found out that Donnie's also known for his temper.
That is also, I didn't mention that, but that is true. He did have a bit of a streak.
Artists.
Not mentioned for temper.
Okay, all great points. This was really between Michelle and Justin for the most part, although great points there, Sean, as well, especially like none of these turtles really are like their namesake, so the whole thing is kind of moot. But we have to pick a winner here, and this one, just by a hair, goes to Michelle. So congratulations, Michelle.
Well done.
Yay, pizza!
Yes. All right. And so we are going into the last of our final main rounds here, the wild card round. So Sean is pretty much guaranteed himself a spot in the speed round. Michelle, you're ahead of Justin right now. So Justin needs this to force a tie to between you two. If you win this outright, Michelle, then you would go to the finals. And Sean, if you win, you just have more points going in, and Michelle would follow. So let's head in. Wild card question. Ding, ding, ding.
How does this work?
So the wild card is just, it doesn't have as much of a theme like history, right? So, all right. So who is the best TMNT supporting character? Whether they be a hero, an anti-hero, a villain. So not one of the main turtles, not Splinter, somebody sort of adjacent, And I always have to check my cheat sheet, but looks like Sean's up next.
All right. I believe I went with Casey Jones for this one.
Okay.
And the reason being is that he is an absolute menace in the cartoon, and especially in the first film. Casey Jones is completely unhinged, throws a wrench into everything, but then also ends up kind of saving the day and being like the most badass character. And you know what? Being played by Elias Koteas certainly doesn't help or doesn't hurt him, I should say. The initial introduction to Casey Jones, obviously, in that film is when he and Raph have that encounter in the park where they're both not really realizing that they're both kind of good guys, but kind of unhinged weirdos at the same time. I do love, I love the interplay between the two of them in that particular fight. And then even after the fact, I mean, when he spots Raph on the roof and then wants to see what he's up to, like there's a brotherly bond there that Raph just doesn't have with the other turtles.
Interesting. Okay. Who's up? Okay, Justin, you are up next.
All right. Batman. Batman is the greatest supporting character in TMNT history simply because A, he's Batman, and B, the 2016 IDDW crossover proves it. He's not just a guest star, he's a great contrast and complement to the Turtles. His brooding nature forces the Turtles to think differently, while their chaotic family brotherhood fraternal vibe pushes Batman out of his shell, literally and emotionally, pun intended. They share roots with martial arts, the shadows, the moral codes. But when they meet, it's not just a team up; it's growth on both sides, and they complement one another. Where Casey Jones he's fun, but he's a chaotic wild card, and he doesn't really elevate or challenge the Turtles that much. He's there, he helps, he's cool, he's supposed to be the Punisher, but he's not Batman. I'm sorry. And Batman would kick Casey Jones's ass. And I don't know what Michelle's going to say, but Batman would kick their ass too.
Just the brazen thing to bring Batman into this is just incredible. Okay, Michelle.
I didn't even know that was
pretty much a Godwin.
Wow.
Yeah.
I went with Leatherhead. So
Okay.
for Ninja Turtle, he plays a villain and one of the Turtles' allies. in the original cartoon series, he was a villain. And a lot of times when they first meet him, they end up fighting him. And inside this series, he stayed the villain. I actually love when he teams up with the Rat King. That is some of my favorite with Leatherhead. But Leatherhead in the other series is intelligent. He grew up with the Utrums, and he's got this completely different aura to him. And he's like family, especially to Michelangelo in the 2012 series. The 2003 series, he's one of the victims of Bishop. He's got such a deep storyline, and the Turtles are always there for his side. And he's not as obvious a pick as Casey Jones would be. A lot of people would lean on Casey, but I've always loved the interaction between Leatherhead and the Turtles, be him evil or good. Him as a Mighty Munimal is one of my favorite story arcs for him in the Archie comics. It's very growth. He starts off as the bad guy, and he grows into a hero.
Okay, I didn't even know that. Okay, so we are going into open debate now. We have Casey Jones versus Leatherhead versus Batman. So here we go.
Well, we know Batman can defeat Killer Croc. So Leatherhead should not. Can we see the picture of Leatherhead again? Can someone pull that up? Is he wearing wading pants? Like what's going on?
He's wearing gaiters. He's wearing gaiters.
He's a gator in gaiters. I love it. But also he is aquatic. So what the heck?
He speaks with a Cajun accent, I believe, too.
Sewer, he needed those pants because the sewers was gross.
That's true. Yeah, you don't want that stuff on your legs. I'll give him that. All right. So for me, I didn't realize that outside of TMNT universe was applicable. So kudos to Justin on picking Batman over there. I think that's like that's kind of like bringing a Joker and playing the Joker hand, but it's Batman.
It is a literal wild card.
Yeah. So.
Batman versus TMNT is the best movie since the original 1990 movies.
It's a super fun
film. I want to say that right after Shredder beat Batman that bad, he shouldn't have been able to beat the Turtles in the alleyway near the Batmobile and then fail against Leo during sparring. So
all right, but
it was, I will admit, there was some stretches of the imagination for the comic was better than the movie.
Stretches of the imagination, right? Because Ninja Turtles aren't, requiring any sort of suspension of disbelief.
My body.
What are they for?
I simply love Casey Jones. He is a meme outside of the Ninja Turtles fandom. You see that picture of him dressed in a suit, but still wearing the hockey mask and with his bag of weapons. It's like, I'll never forget the time Casey Jones applied for a real job and got it. Sorry, Michelle, what was that?
That's from the episode Octopus Inc. He only got it because it was Shredder's business and Leo sent him in undercover.
Yeah, it's still a meme, though. It's like,
that's basically how I look at most of my job interviews.
you wear the hockey mask.
I just show up in the hockey mask and like, hey, how's it going? What's the benefits like?
Casey Jones is he is unhinged. I love the IDW series that was written by Tom Waltz and also that Kevin Eastman was involved in.
Yeah.
They gave him an excellent backstory. You get to understand who he is based on his family dynamics. That's probably my favorite incarnation of Casey Jones, but just something about Elias Koteas in that first movie, just playing it so seriously, like he is an adult who acts like a vigilante child who then turns around and ends up saving the day and actually having his own little character arc and hero growth within that film. Wow, look at that. You just have everything within arm's reach, don't you?
Yeah, that's awesome. Like that in my head, that is Kate. Like when someone says Casey Jones, I see him from the first movie.
Also, gray sweatpants ahead of the fashion there. Irma would totally want to go on a date with that Casey Jones.
Oh, I think Irma might.
Why isn't Irma in this debate? Come on. So.
Yeah, we're shipping.
Down when they want to date her.
You guys join me later for a slash fic. We'll get something written up.
Oh God.
Batman. Batman. I think he's gonna beat Killer Croc, so he's gonna be able to beat Leatherhead if he needs to. Unless it's intelligent Leatherhead, then he's gonna get some good gumbo. And
No, that's Leatherhead. He's the only one with that accent. But I really love that Leatherhead has his other challenges, and he is a lot stronger than really given credit for. He does the alligator roll and everything, but some of the stuff he goes through is mental torture, and the torture.
Okay. This is a tough one. Justin, I don't think you did enough with Batman to get there for me. It's incredibly.
You just have to say Batman, Dave. What more do you need? It's like saying Hitler in an argument about World War II. It's just an automatic. The conversation's over.
I'm a fan too. I guess I haven't read or seen enough of the Batman TMNT crossovers to be convinced.
Watch the movie.
You know the Batman. You know the Ninja Turtles. What more convincing, Dave?
It's compelling.
We're not
but,
friends
anymore.
anymore.
To call them him the best side character, or not, like sort of supporting character.
Introducing him elevates everybody else to the point where they need to become Batman.
And it's incredibly creative, and you got a whole bunch of creative points, but I just don't know if there's enough substance there. So for me, it's really coming down to Casey Jones and Leather. I want people to call him Leatherface. It's Leatherhead.
Leatherhead.
Yeah. Leatherhead.
Horror movie.
I know. It's been a long time since I thought about Leatherhead. So I just obviously Casey Jones more iconic, I think, in the lore. And so Justin, do you have a take on this? I'm asking your opinion here.
My take is I'm going to say Casey Jones is mine, only because it was my original answer, and then World Mind told me I had to change it.
Okay. You know what? So I'm going to give them. I'm doing it again. I'm giving Sean and Michelle a point here, going into speed round for both great choices, both good arguments, and about an equal amount of points made here. I think Casey Jones is my preference, but I don't feel like he's. I don't feel like this Leatherhead one should be thrown out. So they're both getting points, and that helps make it a little closer, I think, going into this speed round. Justin, excellent job. You represented
couldn't
well.
have lost to better people. I think my wax on, waxed off, and here we are.
Right. So
Ninja vanish.
Ninja vanish. See you later, Justin. Justin will be with us to help. I may call upon him for an opinion or help decide. But now it's all coming down to Sean and Michelle as we head into our speed round.
Woo.
And so you'll each think of a speed. Now it's much faster here. I think
30 seconds.
There you go. So you each get like 30 seconds and then a quick rebuttal, basically. So usually it's a binary choice, like it's an A or B. So whoever says it first will get that option. You have to argue the other one. You can choose to concede it, but if you don't really want to argue something, but if you need the points, you go for it here. So
and wait until Dave reads the question before you pick your answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me finish it before you yell it out. Okay. So. Here we go. Starting off with movies. Are you doing an overlay, Chris? Okay, here we go. What holds up better for the Turtles in live action? Is it the practical, Jim Henson type effects, or is it CGI?
Practical.
Sean beat you there, Michelle. So you get the CGI.
No! I concede!
Practical holds up better. I'm going to just possibly address an argument Michelle might have. The scary face in Donatello's mouth. With that one exception, practical effects in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles holds up way, way better. These characters are actually there in the scene. And we all know that suffering makes for good art. And the performers in those suits were suffering the entire time. This is why C-3PO is so great in Star Wars. It's the suffering.
I think Justin spit on his water when he said that. Okay, go over to Michelle.
CGI sucks. CGI is horrible. CGI is awful. Oh no, the Jim Henson's Creature Shop, the animatronics, the beauty of it. Michelin Sisty as Michelangelo with Mac Wilson working the face is just art. Now, if you watch Turtles 3, they're a little choppy because they have different animatronics. But if you go after the first Turtle movie, I own 2 animatronic heads sitting right next to me in my room. So from the third Turtle movie, I'm completely with the practical, and I swore I said it faster.
Well, it could be the internet delays. Perhaps we're all in Canada. You're in the United States. There might be a tariff on the time.
Oh no!
But yeah, this obviously goes to Sean as you followed up his arguments with a lot of other great arguments. So
when
Sean,
when Arrow releases that 4K Blu-ray of TMNT, I am not gonna keep my eyes open for that scene where Donatello laughs. Like, I cannot handle that shit.
It's a
It is-
I remember the first time I saw the YouTube video that showed that, and it was like the first time someone told me that the Swedish Chef has human hands.
Oh my god, that was like
back. There are other areas, like the turtles are not wearing legs in the sewer at the beginning. So when you watch them jump up, you can see the white on Leonardo's legs from below the knee down, because that's what he's not wearing legs. And if you look at the shadows on the wall, their legs get thinner because it's human legs underneath the turtle knee.
oh my god.
That's great.
There's also areas where you can see the white underneath the elbows. There's another area where you can see Donatello's face during a fight scene. So there are a lot of bloopers in both Turtles 1 and Turtles 2 I can sit down and point out.
Nice.
Wow.
but she's still, and after all that, she's still a
Better
champion
than
for-
CGI.
Still better
Oh,
than the CGI.
CGI. Do not
Yeah.
take over the. I want Henson to do the next Turtle movie. The last Ronin better be Henson. Please.
I hope that comes true too. All right, we got to keep going. We got to keep moving here. Okay, TV speed round question. Here it is. Who was funnier, Bebop or Rocksteady?
Bebop.
All right, you get Rocksteady, Sean. So Michelle, you'll argue first here. Your time starts now.
Okay, Bebop had a pet turtle named Slash with his little binky. He was so precious to his little binky with the pet turtle named Slash. He always had his different little nuances of just kind of going, oh, look at me doing this and that. And I had to play against him in birthday parties. We had Bebop crashing the birthday parties back in the 90s. Bebop is definitely an absolute favorite character of mine because he is a lot more rounded than just being a goon.
Okay, all right. Some good points there for Bebop. What about Rocksteady?
Both Bebop and Rocksteady were played by voice actors who also voiced Turtles. Bebop was voiced by the guy who did Donatello, Rocksteady by the guy who did Leonardo. And the thing that makes Rocksteady more funny is the fact that he's always flummoxed. He's like, oh, he's always doing that. Like before he says anything, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get the titles. Oh, like all of his lines start with that or end with that. Bebop looks funny for sure, but Rocksteady is my go-to funny mutant.
Rebuttal.
15-second rebuttal.
Come on, did Rocksteady have anything outside of being the villain like a pet?
I don't know enough about Rocksteady to be able to answer that question. Maybe he's got some off-screen stuff happening. I don't know.
Rocksteady got after Bebop. You got a pet turtle? The boss is going to kill you.
Your rebuttal, Sean.
I can't really rebut that. I mean, I love both of them, but I just think Rocksteady is sillier overall.
Okay, good points. Michelle, you get this one. Good job. Okay, but great on both sides. That voice too. Ooh, what's going on? Loved it. Okay. Okay.
Happy.
We are now at a score of 5-4 for Sean. All right, music. What's better, Vanilla's his Ninja Rap or Partner in Crime's Turtle Power?
Turtle Power.
Power.
Michelle
Turtle
got
Power.
there.
Yeah.
Michelle
all right,
got-
go for it.
You got Ninja Rap.
Turtle get down, slam and jam it. No, that's going Ninja Rap. Sorry, but no. Turtle Power actually has their story. If you go and see Partners in Crime live, he sings the actual song with only one change. Instead of Raph being the leader of the group, he makes Raph the bad boy of the group from with the nuclear goop. Pieces of food that's sure to please these ninjas are into pepperoni and cheese. He actually sings it. You go to see Vanilla Ice, he doesn't sing Ninja Rap. You never hear him say, have you ever seen the turtle get down, slam and jam it to new swing sound? You hear Partners in Crime actually still sing it to this day.
Sean?
That's a baffling.
I think the difference here is Partners in Crime only ever did Turtle Power. Like they didn't do anything before that. They've done very little after that. I love them. Vanilla Ice had one of the best selling rap albums of all time, if not the best, for several years. Vanilla Ice was threatened by Suge Knight, but Ninja Rap was written on the spot. He just saw them and he was like, I'm going to sing a rap right now. I'm going to make it up. And so he did. So there you go. Partners in Crime had a studio. They had time.
What? Partners in Crime had less than a weekend and only a script. They did not have time to do this. That's why they got Raph wrong. Partners in Crime did not have time. They had 1 weekend, just the script, and they had just that to go off of, and they wrote that song without a studio or anything. This was Richard writing the song.
Sean?
I've done something wrong in my life because I have to defend Vanilla Ice. Probably the first, hopefully the last time I ever will have to. But he slays it at the dance club by the dock, just coming up with that song on the spot, and I got to give it to him for that.
Great. This is so much fun for me. I'm giving this one to Michelle as well. She was reciting lyrics, and she had
Well
so much
done.
going on.
Well done.
And I hang
All right.
out with Richard. I know his story personally.
He's rad. I hurt myself saying stuff against Partners in Crime. I hope you
Yes.
understand this. It like hurts my soul.
You were a good sport there, Sean. We appreciate that. All right. Moving on to sports. Which turtle had the coolest sewer sports all-star figure?
Donatello.
Okay, and do you have one you want to argue for here?
I don't know what these figures look like, so
we don't have a visual, do we? To go in here.
We don't. It's just all the turtles were in sports figures.
Um,
We'll
who's the football guy? Who's the football guy? Was that Mikey?
No, that
I
was
think that might have
Leo.
been Raph.
Leo?
Mikey.
I'll go with.
TMNT sewer sports. Hold on, we have to get this.
Leo is
All right.
football. Leo's hockey. Raph is soccer.
Raph was
Don-
soccer. Donatello appears to be a basketball player. Mikey is a skateboarder, and
All right, I'll go with Mikey.
okay,
That
Mikey.
skateboarder not from that line. The skateboarders, there's two different skateboarding Mikeys, and they're not from the sport lines.
Problems you have when there's
This
been a billion figures.
This was the one that Chris wanted to bring into the debate. So,
All right.
Just for the record.
Wrestling is Mikey's main sport one that I remember. I think he had one other one, but I'm not recalling it off the top of my head.
I want to hear about this Donnie figure that you were really excited about, because I love when people talk about stuff they're excited about. Who's going up first?
It would be Michelle.
Michelle.
She picked it first.
Okay, so I picked the Donatello toy because this is one of the rarest Ninja Turtle toys on the market. They have two different ones. There's the red jersey and then there's the white jersey. And they even made a giant version of the red jersey, which is extremely hard to find. I got it out of package, not in package. And I don't even have the white jersey for the small version. Oh, they do have that Mikey lined up with the sports one. That's weird. See, there's the wrestling one. But yeah, I go with Donnie because of the fact that this is the most sought after toy.
Okay.
All right.
From
Going for rarity. All right. I guess I'll go. Mikey with the skateboard makes sense to me because before this line, you would have had to get Mikey separate from the Cheapskate or the Cheapskate 2 thing, which was a whole other vehicle for him to just have a skateboard. This, you would have Mikey and the skateboard together in one package. So for convenience alone, I would have to go with that. Plus, I just love Mikey on a skateboard. Michelle's got other thoughts, and that's cool. I look forward to hearing them.
I'm thinking, and I'm realizing the toy I'm thinking about is a surfboard, not a skateboard. So,
Oh,
okay. I thought of Sewer Serpent Mikey. But yeah, I go after the Donnie because of how much that Donnie is actually sought after. And it's the one that's brought up the most in that line.
Is it up to me now? That was a tough one, everybody. Is this one with Donnie the one with the green like mask instead of his purple one? Is that
No.
why it's rare? No?
It's just rare because of how little was made of him. He does have like the green
he's got
glasses.
goggles.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
he's got-
goggles.
He does have his purple mask on behind him.
I see. Okay. Well, it's different. I guess I'm going with Michelle. I don't know.
All right. Well argued. Also, would Donnie have game like as a b-baller, do you think?
Yeah, I actually think so. I think he has a lot more activity to him than people give credit because he's known for the lab area. But just because of that, don't discount his ninja abilities at throwing a ball. If he can throw a ninja star and hit a target, he can throw a ball into a basket.
I don't think he's got a lot of vertical, but I can see him throwing three-pointers
Three-pointers.
really well.
Yeah.
Right from the line. Just
Yeah. Well, like the turtles are short, but they're also ninjas, so they could jump. So
it's true.
it's a
You could,
balance.
like jump in a flip and a dunk. That'd be pretty neat.
Like Donatello in NBA Jam, please, someone make that happen.
He's on fire.
So the score is now 6-5 for Michelle. So we have 2 rounds left here. So let's jump in. For our history question, be it resolved. The time period that TMNT turtles are depicted in does not matter. So one of you is arguing it doesn't matter if the turtles are in the 80s or the 2000s. The other one is saying yes, it does matter.
Matter.
Okay, Michelle's arguing it doesn't matter. Sean, you're gonna have to argue it does matter.
All right.
Okay, it does not matter because the Ninja Turtles have been shown in the past. They've traveled back to dinosaur time. They traveled back to Viking time. They traveled to the future. They've gone to different planets. Their aspect of where they are and what they do never relies on technology or those around them. It just relies on the situation they're in and being able to solve their problems. And they've been able to do so since the original Mirage comics without worrying about their time period.
Okay. Sean?
I think something that speaks so well about Ninja Turtles is that they are utterly timeless. There's the video game Turtles in Time where they do exist across multiple time periods within the same game, but they are ultimately products of the 1980s and a direct result of Eastman and Laird poking fun at and homage to Marvel Comics and characters that were so popular around that time. The foot being a direct homage to the hand from Daredevil. Ninja Turtles and the 80s are inexplicably linked.
Michelle?
Every version of Ninja Turtles right now that's coming out isn't even touching the 80s besides for the music with Mutant Mayhem. It's all going off of the now stuff. Like, if you look at what they're wearing in the 2016 series, how they treated them in the Rise of the Turtle series.
All right, my rebuttal is they're still the characters they were in the 1980s. You can't change those factors, those character traits that will always be attributed to each individual brother. So, yeah, I'm going to go with they have to be from the 80s or early 90s.
They're timeless. You even said it.
They are timeless. They can exist in any time, but they're definitely from the late 80s, early 90s.
Did you listen to Mutant Mayhem's the way they talk? That was not 80 talk.
They didn't talk 80s talk. But in terms of what I was looking for in this particular debate, Sean hit the notes, so Sean gets this point. So we are tied up.
Ooh, tight game.
Ooh.
Okay. So this is it for all the marbles. Our final speed round question, a wild card question, and it is. It's coming up. What's a more interesting take on the Splinter character, as a former human or as a former pet rat?
Pet rat.
Okay, you get the human Splinter, Michelle, and she looks happy about that. So you're up, Sean.
So as a human, it makes sense that, yeah, he would have been a ninja. He studied and now he's a rat and he's got to deal with it. When he's a rat first, he's just a rat and he's watching a human do stuff, and then he's got to deal with the fact that he's a completely other thing. Yes, he's still a rat, but now he's got human attributes and he's got to learn to deal with the world of humans instead of a human who's now just kind of rat-ish.
Okay, Michelle.
Oh, I'm going to go with the fact that David Wise, the writer of the original cartoon series who decided to make Hamato Yoshi into Splinter, is actually a fan of the original Mirage comics, but he was always having a hard time going into that universe and thought with the idea of a ninja rat being a master in the martial arts and being able to teach the turtles to be able to defeat someone like a Rokosaki. So he decided to make that change in the fact that a pet rat would not be able to train the turtles to be complete masters.
Sean?
Something I think Mutant Mayhem does extremely well is showing the distrust that Splinter has of the world of humans, because he was always a rat and always an outsider. So he's trying to do his best to be a protective father to these Ninja Turtles who are also not humans, despite how much they want to be.
Something, every version I've seen of Ninja Turtles that have done well with Splinter being a human first is showing the difficulties that he had from being a human, the betrayal from Orokosaki. Like if you watch Tales of Yokai in the 2012 series and see what he actually went through and the character growth that he brought to the Turtles because of his life experience.
That was great.
The key answer is past trauma, apparently. Make Splinter.
What's the better past trauma? And you both made excellent points. Justin, were you swayed one way or the other?
You know what? They both made great. At first, I came into that question with the bias that I enjoyed him being a rat from the beginning, but I totally forgot that I have actually seen that arc. That's one of the only things I've seen from that series. And it was a really, really powerful story. So I am conflicted.
As am I.
What about World Mind? Do you have anything you'd like to chop in there? Does the stash have anything to say?
Well, I gotta say, this is honestly one of the tightest games ever. And
I'm just here for eye candy. That's
well,
Are you Irma?
I'm the Irma of this situation.
I want to get a date. Okay.
Yeah, I think Michelle kind of eked it out in that one, but
I agree. It seems like I just wanted to make sure I had the right take. Sean, you had the lead coming in, but Michelle brought it here in the speed round, and she takes the game. Congratulations, you take this
Excellent.
round. Well done, Michelle.
Well done. I could not be happier.
Well
to lose.
played.
There's one other version. He was a human in the past and then reincarnated as a rat and then mutated.
There you go. Best of both worlds, if you will.
I did not know that.
Well, congratulations to our winner of this episode, Michelle. Ivy, excellent job. Is this your first time on Trivial Debates? I believe it was.
Yes.
Right? Well, congratulations. Great job. Of course, you know your stuff about turtles. It really showed in this podcast. You're one of the biggest fans I've ever met, certainly. But everyone here brought it today. Clearly, we all love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Fandom's all about the passion. It doesn't matter who you know, what you've done, or who you've met. It's all about how you care here, so we're all equal.
Well said.
I like that.
Great. Well, we all salute you, and great job to Sean and Justin as well, who really brought amazing arguments. You guys did a lot to support each other's arguments in this podcast. You're like, I really like what Sean picked. I like what Justin picked, and I was like, well, you're just giving points to your competitors here, everybody. But it's all good. So.
You have to admit when something's true, and I mean Irma's little love thing.
Well, there's different strategies to this game. Sometimes, if you're a Jody, you never admit what's true, just to ensure that. So.
Well, this was an excellent game. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to join us and talk turtles. This was one of the best episodes that have been produced so far. As is customary, Michelle, thank you for winning this game and putting on an excellent show. Where can the people find you in your endeavors?
I'm on Instagram most of the time on Cowabunga Corner, like the name on here says, but one word. And I am trying to get my YouTube channel back up and going as well. So I should be back on YouTube hopefully soon, because I like talking turtles.
As do I.
Yes, as do we. And Sean, thank you again for taking the time to bring the turtle hurt. It was a very close game. Where can the people find you and your endeavors?
People can find me on Instagram at MegaShaun. That is a Transformers reference, Megatron. So MEGASHAUN. And thanks for having me. This was great.
Thank you so much. And Justin, last but not least, where can the people find you in your endeavors?
People can find me usually sitting at my desk, not wanting to be on social media. They can add me on Blue Sky, justinvelociraptor.bluesky.social, I believe is how that works. I am also on Instagram at justinvelociraptor. I very rarely post anything, but when I do, you can believe it's going to be witty.
Beautiful. Thank you. That's always witty and charming as usual. And with the host with the most, Dave, thank you so much for bringing in these sensei-like questions. Where could the people find you in your endeavors?
Well, thank you, Chris, for helping to put together this podcast today. Yes, you can find me on Live Long and Podcast, a YouTube channel and audio podcast that's on all the time. On Mondays, we do our For All Mankind reviews. Right now, we're doing Next Generation reviews on Thursdays. Soon, Strange New Worlds will be coming back. And so it's all kinds of Star Trek podcasts all the time. Justin's often on our shows, as are you, Chris. Just throw. You all laughed when I made that Horgon joke, so I think the rest of us are Star Trek fans here as well. Plus, you can check me out on Super Mater Brothers podcasting. We just wrapped up the 48th season of Survivor this past Wednesday, so it was a 13-week journey, and that is now passed as well.
Oof. Well, much like this episode, we are passing on to the end of it. So join us next month. We're going to get fantastic 4 times for our next episode of Trivial Debates. Follow all these lovely people. Hit subscribe. Leave comments. Let us know what your answers to these very challenging questions would have been. And let us know if you agree with our host's excellent choice. All right. Peace out. We're going to end this.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Turtle power!
A Jose Canseco bat? Tell me, you didn't pay money for this.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Tune in to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And while you're at it, spin a few records with Eamon on Track. Watch us duke it out on Trivial Debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.